So, my fellow friends, how are you mastering your mic? How are you connecting on a personal level or in business with those that you want to work with and get to know on a long-lasting relationship? Are you mindful, taking all of the other things that are going on in your head out of it and being present in the moment? Are those conversations very meaningful that stick and keep the other person feeling like they are the most important person in the room? And so are you. And finally, is it memorable? Is it lasting weeks and months and years afterwards that they could turn around and say, you know what? I really loved talking to Steve. I remember him telling me all about his business. And you know what? He actually made me feel good because he was interested in mine. You have the power to connect in meaningful, intentional ways. Please be mindful of what you do. And I hope that when we leave here today, you will start mastering your mic and making your connections last forever. Back to you.
Wow, wow, wow. Yeah, you're not too shabby there, buddy. I enjoyed that. Yeah, it's interesting. I was on with a few people here on Kathy's weekly get together just before this, and we were talking about some similar issues, the communication process. And I'm not picking on Maggie, but I think Maggie has come so far in the last year. For those that met her a year and a half ago to where she is now, she is learning that process of communicating. And I think that she's been working with Kathy, so that gives a lot of background on it. As for the people that are going to be watching the recording, I'd like to make sure that you put your contact, Roger, into the chat so we can share that around. But what we're trying to do, and I met Sonia and Val, I think it was the same time I met Maggie, and that the conference was the same time. And those two ladies have so much in common with my mission statement of helping veterans and telling stories of veterans. Sonia does it in respect to her uncle who died during Vietnam. Val does it by telling the stories of World War II prisoners of war. But for somebody that's listening to this, that doesn't have the input at this moment to ask you directly, how would you instruct or guide or mentor, whatever trendy word we want to use, to that veteran or that law enforcement, that cop that is coming out of the service career into the business career, not just as an employee, but as being a founder, as being a businessman, being the owner? What would you instruct them or try to share with them on the speaking topic? It's not a group, it's one-to-one. What are those major points?
First and foremost, you want to connect to people on a likely basis. So what I like to call it is finding the common grounds between you and that person. Now, does that always happen, Frank? Not not all the time. But what we want to do is try to find some common grounds to talk about and get the conversation started. And of course, as I said before, it's about making that person, the other person, feel like they are important and finding a way to weave what you do into what they do and see if there is some type of connection that you can make with them. But the connection isn't only, again, keep in mind, I've said this before, it's not just to be trying to, and I'm going to throw this out to everyone here. When you have someone who comes to you and all they want to talk about is their business, and then you are left there wondering, is that all you wanted to do? Is it only that you wanted to sell me on what you do and that's it? Do you feel like you had an uplifting conversation with them? Yes or no? No, we haven't. So you want to find a way to make the connection likable and relatable. So first and foremost, you have a cop or you have somebody else here that is in a different field. Find something that is of a common ground to start with, and then get into the specifics of what you do and see how that could be woven in together.
No, I love that. And I think several of us have had similar conversations, and that I had a young lady that had seen me on some Zooms, and we were at a different group, and she came up and introduces herself. I was really disappointed that I hadn't recognized a good-looking girl. But she said to me, Mac, can I ask you? And that, what do you feel about Achieve? I said, what do you mean? She said, well, not the group, but the people. I said, oh, that part's easy. 90% are honest and sincere. They care about what they do. They care about what you do. 10% only want to sell you something. If you don't buy, they'll never talk to you again. But we have to know the 10% because we don't want to introduce people to them, and then they're going to be taken advantage of. So I'm going to open it up. People, just unmute yourself. What kind of questions? Sonia, I know that you have your conference coming up in Tampa next week. You probably should get to know Roger for the next time. I don't know that he can change his plans to come down from Toronto to Tampa, although at minus 50 that for him and 80 degrees for you, he may make his way to the car and start driving right now so he's there on time. But what kind of questions do you guys have?